hoping to make further progress here in the FA Cup.
Well, I think they're in a place where they can obviously have a squad that copes with all the different competitions. I think it's important for them. They know how important such a big competition is, and they have the resources to go and take it very, very seriously.
Promotion the priority for Middlesbrough, you feel, though?
Yes, they would certainly swap that. They would probably feel they're unlikely to win the FA Cup this season, so yeah, the all-important progression to the Premier League would certainly be uppermost in their minds, and they're going really well. But a game like this is an enjoyable one for their side. They can just relax, the players can relax, and they'll enjoy testing themselves.
Middlesbrough do have the best defence currently in the Championship. They conceded just 18 goals. They moved into second place in the Championship on goal difference ahead of Ipswich on Tuesday evening. Manchester City, who were FA Cup winners back in 2011, taking on Middlesbrough, the team who are currently second in the Championship at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester. Middlesbrough with plenty of away support for this. One defeat in their last 15 games in all competitions. Going so well in the Championship currently. They've pushed up into second place, and they've put their faith in youth. Manchester City have been away in Abu Dhabi for some warm weather training, but Frank Lampard was substituted after only 20 minutes of their friendly this week against Hamburg. Lampard isn't being risked now, but with a full week to prepare for the Premier League fixture against Chelsea, Manuel Pellegrini has named a strong Manchester City team, with top scorer Sergio Aguero anxious to prove his fitness again after a lengthy layoff. He did feature, though, in the defeat at home to Arsenal.
And that fitness for Aguero as he leads the line could be so pivotal for the rest of their season. Equally well supported in attacking intent from Navas and Jovetic and Silva in behind him. But throughout the rest of the side, Kompany at centre-half and Milner anchoring the midfield. Lots of experience in this Manchester City side.
Middlesbrough climbed to second in the Championship with Tuesday's 2-1 win over Cardiff City. Head coach Eita Carranco knows City's Manuel Pellegrini well from their time in Spain. Carranco with Real Madrid has got a problem at right back here with Thomas Kalash, the 21-year-old on loan from Chelsea, failing a fitness test on an ankle injury. Experienced Dean Whitehead will deputise. Whitehead was a substitute for Stoke City when they lost to Manchester City in the 2011 final.
And Whitehead joins him back four with Ayala and Gibson, who've been very good at centre-back for Middlesbrough this season. Friend played a lot of games for them up the left-hand side as well. They have pace in the side too. Bamford and Nadoma are very quick. Tomlin has a bit of creativity about him, with Vossen leading the line. Ledbetter and Clayton will certainly have to shield that back four in the midfield area.
Phil Dowd is our referee from this one. A referee from the Premier League list. Manchester City have had their problems at the Etihad this season. They lost to CSKA Moscow in the Champions League. They had two sent off. Toure and Fernandinho's on the bench here. Yaya Toure currently away at the African Cup of Nations, along with City's January signing, Wilfried Bony, who has arrived from Swansea City. It is Manchester City who get us underway, feeling the chill perhaps in the northwest, given that they've been away in Abu Dhabi this week for some warm weather training. Had a friendly fixture against Hamburg of the Bundesliga in midweek. It was a game which City won 2-0, but it came at something of a cost because Frank Lampard was substituted after only 20 minutes. And Manchester City immediately on the back foot. Real intent already from Middlesbrough, the team who are currently second in the Championship. They pushed up into second place in midweek with their home success over Cardiff City. And Matt Jackson, is fair to say that they are really the team in form in the Championship.
They are, and there's no better feeling when you get on a roll. You look forward to every game. Doesn't matter who the opposition are. As I say, they'll really embrace this challenge. Players all in fine form, and that's when you want to come and test yourself against the best.
Milner taking charge in the centre of midfield, and now finding David Silva. Jesus Navas back again with Silva. Zabaleta with a surge forward.
Silva just so mercurial in the middle of the park for Manchester City. Such a good creator. He'll be disappointed with the pass to Zabaleta. I'm sure Zabaleta doesn't particularly relish the 70-yard overlap to get that one played out of play, but he's such a good player. You know that whenever he gets the ball, Silva, he has his head up and he's going to create opportunities.
Zabaleta endured double disappointment when Manchester City lost the final to Wigan Athletic back in 2013. One of the surprises of the FA Cup in recent times, and Zabaleta dismissed just before the end. Here's Kolarov. Just the 4 changes for Manchester City following their home defeat by Arsenal in the Premier League last weekend. Next weekend they go to Stamford Bridge to take on the leaders Chelsea. 5 points the difference currently at the top of the Premier League. There's plenty of FA Cup history between these two clubs, and Manuel Pellegrini, the Chilean now in charge of Manchester City, has talked this week about the history of the FA Cup and how worldwide it is recognised as the top cup competition. He's made it clear that he wants Manchester City to enjoy cup success. He was irritated that they bowed out of the League Cup in England at home to Newcastle United. Bamford with a surge through the middle. Down for the youngster who's on loan from Chelsea. Eita Karanka calling in 1 or 2 favours, returning to Chelsea to tap the brains of his former boss at Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho.
Chelsea have actually done really well with his development, Bamford. Keep sending him out on loan, been at Derby, and everywhere he's gone his career has progressed. Started off at MK Dons, and it's a really good model for them, because it's not necessarily going to be easy for him to make an impression straight away in that Chelsea first team, but if he can go in after playing 100 league games, experiencing games like this, it will be such a benefit for him and that youth system.
Left on by Clayton, the former Manchester City youngster. Here's Clayton once more. Joined Middlesbrough in the summer from Huddersfield Town. Oliver with the chance to advance. Milner. Navas. Milner again. Milner scored both goals for Manchester City in the third round when they came from behind against Sheffield Wednesday, also of the Championship. In by Kolarov. It's come right the way through to Jesus Navas. Jovetic with a turn. And Mejias grateful to hold on.
What a ball from Kolarov. Gets the ball out of his feet. That is just absolutely perfect service. Curling that around the centre halves and into that space. Outstanding delivery.
Jovetic, who has been attracting interest from Juventus. Played in Italy previously, of course, with Fiorentina. Miscue clearance by Ayala.
Yeah, Middlesbrough have to be careful they don't get into a... Being confident is fine, and backing yourselves, but you can't get into a situation where you're trying to out-football a very good side. Whatever way they look at it, they're definitely stepping up in class. Just got to be careful. You try and be wide open against the very best teams, they'll pick you off, particularly with the quality of the likes of Silva, Aguero, who can pick the ball up and really hurt you.
Middlesbrough with the best defence in the Championship. Conceded just 18 goals. One defeat in their last 15 fixtures in all competitions. They really don't give anything away just at the moment. They conceded late on against Cardiff, the fixture that they won 2-1 on Tuesday, but before that they've gone 9 hours and 21 minutes without conceding, which is an impressive record at any level. Lawson on his way, miscue by Caballero. Perhaps Manchester City fortunate to get away with that. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding at the back there between Caballero and also Boyata, who's had precious few first-team opportunities in his time at Manchester City.
In fairness to Boyata, I think he'd have coped with the ball okay. Slightly unnerved to see his goalkeeper coming out of the area.
Boyata made his senior debut for Manchester City in a cup tie at Middlesbrough 5 years ago now. Zabaleta. Fernando. Pursued by Tomlin. The ball has been won back by Lee Tomlin. Bamford again gives chase. He was on target in that win over Cardiff on Tuesday. Jovetic. Now Aguero. Navas. Unconventional save by Mejias, but he did enough.
Yeah, Silva thinks he should have picked him out, and he went for pace to get the ball past the first man, and I think that's just what took it by Silva. But once again, just down those flanks, those little areas between fullback and centre half, City certainly getting some joy.
There's a change in goal for Middlesbrough today with Mejias returning. Constantopoulos has been their first pick for much of the season because the young Spaniard has been on the injured list. Mejias. One of the few games that Mejias has played in this season after that back problem back in August was the League Cup fixture at Anfield against Liverpool, the one that went to a penalty shootout. Penalty shootout that finished 14-13 to Liverpool. Friend. Fernando. Jovetic. Kolarov offering support. Jovetic again. Doing his best to create the opening, but Clayton got his instep to the ball.
He's a pretty abrasive player, Clayton. He'll have something to prove here, having started off through the youth ranks at Manchester City. He'll be a bit careful making the tackle. There wasn't too many complaints from the players around.
Tomlin. Doing enough to win Middlesbrough the throw.
Just as he cuts back, he's been done there, so he's trying to make the tackle. Don't see anything wrong in it, but it's just the lunge. It just gives referees an opportunity to give what might be a slightly controversial decision against you. Certainly the right one in that instance.
Clayton was dismissed in the third round for 2 yellow cards, 2 cautions, when Middlesbrough won at Barnsley. He was a regular at the Etihad for a number of years. As part of the Manchester City Academy, he left Manchester City back in 2010. He's He's been backwards to go forwards. He was at Carlisle and Leeds and Peterborough, where he was a teammate of Lee Tomlin's for a while.
That's the beauty, a bit like Bamford, of playing a lot of games. You find your level eventually, pick up the tricks of the trade on the way, you get your body used to playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, chalking the games off. And ultimately, if you're good enough, you get to play in a stadium like this most weeks. Champions League, that's where all players are aiming.
Clayton said that he didn't miss a home game for the best part of 8 years. He was a regular at the Etihad along with his mother, who's still a massive City fan. This is a day, however, for split loyalties in the Clayton family. Jesus Navas, and again by David Silva, looking for Zabaleta, who's now out of position. Manchester City have had their problems against Championship opposition during Manuel Pellegrini's time in charge. They trailed Sheffield Wednesday in the third round. Last season they were 2 down against Watford before Sergio Aguero came up trumps with a second half hat-trick. What do you make of Manchester City's decision to not return from Abu Dhabi until late last night? They got back to Manchester just before 7 o'clock. Aguero. Gibson intervenes.
Yeah, slightly strange, I have to say. However, luxuriously they would have travelled. I still imagine there will be a slight difference in the normal preparation, and they may well feel that a little bit in their legs today. Don't seem to have started particularly sluggishly.
City spending the evening at their new training facility. And straight back to business.
Well, they've got plenty of training in out there in the sunshine in the Middle East. Their preparations will have been absolutely fine. Professionalism, the fitness levels that these players have.
Six of the starting 11 from that friendly against Hamburg feature in this FA Cup fourth round tie. Steve Agnew, Eder Karanka's number 2, just having a quiet word in the boss's ear. Agnew left his job at Hull City just before Christmas. Middlesbrough deciding on a change in their coaching personnel. Agnew coming in place of Craig Hignett. Company. Milner. Fernando. Now Jovetic. Collar off. Gibson with the clearance.
These are the areas that look most likely. They're not having to play with a great deal of width. The fullbacks are quite tucked in for Middlesbrough, which means those areas just down the side of the penalty area are very much open to City.
Jovetic again. David Silva looking for Jovetic. Well gathered by Mahias.
Yeah, he did well. Jovetic would have been very aware that he could have got clattered if he'd really committed to going for that header.
Boyata. One of his few Manchester City appearances was in the third round at the start of January of last year against Blackburn Rovers, a game at Ewood Park. Finished 1-1. Boyata dismissed. David Silva. Aguero. On again by David Silva, then Milner.
see how far Adoma and Bamford having to come back to help the side out defensively. Means in these situations when they try and go forward, Middlesbrough, there's no one to pass to. They have to really force the ball. Good play from Tomlin.
Gone by Whitehead. Bamford. Tomlin again. Youthful Middlesbrough team, sprinkled with a degree of experience, with the inclusion of Dean Whitehead in the right back position. Ledbetter also in the central midfield. Silva. Aguero doing his best to get away from Ayala. Silva. Phil was happy to play the advantage. Just as initially were looking for the free kick.
Yeah, poor decision from Jovetic. This is certainly a foul. Aguero to his right hand side would probably have been a better option. See the frustration from the little Argentine. Jovetic entitled to shoot, but didn't really have the ball set out of his feet well enough to wrap his foot around it to curl that ball into the Middlesbrough goal.
Injury-troubled first season in England for Stefan Jovetic. He started only twice in the Premier League. He's had more opportunities this time around. It's a lovely little flick by Tomlin. Ledbetter. It's come to Bamford. Flag is raised for offside, it won't count. Tomlin's joy is short-lived, but Manchester City were opened up then very, very easily. It was Tomlin in at the start of the move as well. His flick which got Middlesbrough going again.
It'll be Bamford that's offside, I would imagine. It is as that ball's played forward. Ricochet always gets the fans excited. Tomlin, I love this sort of opportunity. He's a player with great skill, can drive fans and managers alike mad at times. Looks a little bit awkward sometimes when he's running, but he certainly sees a pass and he's got a flick.
Jesus Navas. Milner. Checked to safety by Ayala. Manchester City get the corner.
Well, there's only so many times that Middlesbrough are going to be able to let Man City put balls in from the wide areas just on the peripheries of their box. Aguero picking up a bit of a knock. Man City will shudder every time he goes to ground. Nothing serious this time.
It was a shuddering challenge almost by his own teammate James Milner there. They both had their eyes firmly focused on the ball. Milner with a corner kick. Company. Here's Kolarov. Milner. Lawson. Jovetic. Fernando. Now Company. Zabaleta. Away by Ayala. We're happy to sit back and to absorb whatever Manchester City can produce so far.
I'm sure that they'll have been prepared for that, experienced enough to know that you can't just go all out attack, to be disciplined. But it's the problem with Silva, they're so good at finding the pockets of space.
David Silva. Ledbetter. Good work by Kolarov.
Yeah, just getting out of your half is very difficult at times once you've got penned in. So you've got good organisation, obviously fantastic athletic ability in the back four as well.
Bamford penalised for the push. Manchester City eager to get on with the game. Zabaleta. Silva. Jesus Navas. Confronted by George Friend. Silva again. Fernando. Navas. Adoma. Well, able to get away from the challenge of Millia, but conceded possession to Company. Adoma, who was Middlesbrough's top scorer last season with 12 goals in the Championship. Featured for Ghana at the World Cup finals in Brazil last summer. Silva.
Just a bit of a question between Whitehead and Ayala. Ayala quick to come across and make the challenge on Silva. Must have known the ball was coming to Ayala. That's what Whitehead's saying to him. He's a bit surprised that just lets it run across him. You don't need to see a David Silva running onto a ball like that, because he has the technical ability to stick that in the back of your net for sure.
David Silva is one of the constants currently in the Manchester City starting 11, having recovered from a knee injury. Started the last 7 in the Premier League, but Manchester City now 5 points behind Chelsea. What an intriguing fixture that could prove to be at Stamford Bridge next weekend. Before their home defeat to Arsenal, Manchester City were top of the Premier League form guide, having taken 14 points from their previous 6 league games. Silva. Now Milner. Aguero. Still with Aguero. Yes, managed to get a hand on that. Kun Aguero is certain that the goalkeeper got something on it.
I think he did as well. Navas just slightly gets in the way, really. I think he's going to overlap, then he doesn't. The angle is against Aguero, so he goes for raw power. Such an eye for goal, such an awareness of where that goal is. Needs to go across the goalkeeper, really. Quite right in thinking he should have had a corner.
19 goals this season for Sergio Aguero already, and that despite missing 7 games because of a knee problem. He came back as a substitute in the 1-1 draw against Everton in mid-January. Got there just ahead of Vosen. It will be a corner.
Well, Vosen would have scored a very spectacular goal. Disconnected, good movement. Glad to just playing him on side and getting back to make the challenge. Middlesbrough have all backed themselves at set pieces.
Vosen almost on the goal line, closely watched by Zabaleta. Ayala has made his way forward. Friend ready to make his move. As is Ayala, helped on by Ayala, helped away by Kolarov. Friend. Initially shaped to shoot, but now Middlesbrough have to get back and have to regroup quickly. Zabaleta. Milner. Getting away from Clayton, or almost getting away from him. Jovetic. Aguero. Kolarov. It's come back to David Silva. Aguero. Terrific defending by Ledbetter. And now there's a chance for Middlesbrough to counter. It really was all hands to the pump then for Middlesbrough, but they managed to keep Manchester City out.
And they had plenty of numbers centrally, didn't they? That was the secret. Knew at times they have to sacrifice the space wide. We've already made that point. Now they've looked vulnerable out there, but so far the one thing they have done is get bodies in and around the middle of that goal to protect the goalkeeper.
Jesus Navas. Jovetic. Again, it's an unconvincing save by Mahias. There was plenty of zip in that attempt from Jovetic, but Mahias almost diverting the ball back into the danger area.
Yeah, should either be holding it or palming that away. Doesn't even seem to have his hands set right to make the save. Once again, his defenders get him out of trouble.
Milner. Well, that was textbook goalkeeping. Down on one knee.
It was textbook fielding on the boundary, I think. Always an extra man joining in. Kolarov liked to score from that sort of angle, and Aguero really didn't want to make the tackle. With Ledbetter in the middle of the park.
Ledbetter, no stranger to the Etihad Stadium. Featured here often enough with Sunderland. Milner. Silva. Zabaleta. Jesus Navas. Manchester City settle for the corner. Boyata in there with company. Milner. Boyata gets a second chance, and he still can't find the target.
I'm not sure which one he makes a bigger mess of. The first one that he misses completely, or the second one that he skies. Well worked from City again. Once again, there's so many crosses gone in from these relatively narrow areas. That should certainly be finished, and that needs far more composure. Dangerous when the ball's coming fizzing in. It's just a matter of technique. Can sympathise though with the centre-half, who gets a bit excited in those areas.
You've been there yourself.
Well, I didn't usually go that far upfield, but on the very rare occasion it was definitely a bit of a light-headed feeling.
Jovetic. Now Kolarov. Left by Jovetic. Aguero. Milner. Wonderful save by Mahias.
Great save. Tough skill from Milner. When the ball's rolling across your body, you have to take it on the opposite foot. So many bodies though for City, so many options. Lovely weight from Aguero. And that's not easy. A fine save from the goalkeeper going to his right hand side. The one thing that helps him, he gets a good view of it through the gap in his centre backs. Not much more Milner could have done. The pressure builds on that Borough back line.
Helped away by Adoma. Everybody now by Caballero in the Middlesbrough half. Jovetic. Silva. Fernando. play. Doma with the interception.
Just got to remain calm, Borough. Still on level terms. Sometimes you get the feeling in the game that you know you're under real pressure. They're under real pressure at the moment. They feel that building against them. Every time you get the ball, it seems a scramble and you've got no options on. Just got to hang tough. Hang in there. Things will settle down eventually. You've got to show a composure when you do get some possession, though.
Manchester City, despite their travels, showing plenty of first-half energy. Friend. He's needlessly given the ball away. Aguero. Being pushed wide by Ledbetter. Zabaleta. Jovetic. Jesus Navas. Eased on again by Milner. Aguero. It's a tight angle for him. And he tried to be clever. And Mejias wasn't deceived.
Oh, it's the first real misstep he's taken, because he gets himself into a great situation. You see the blue shirts at the top of the screen that he can just drive the ball across to. Goes for the slightly exotic dink ball to the far post. Middlesbrough, the one thing they have done, keep highlighting, he's got those numbers in the middle of the goal, protecting the really dangerous areas.
Manchester City with 70% of the first half possession, but it's often said, isn't it? It's not what you have when you've got the ball, it's what you do with it.
Yeah, I think it's a worry though for Middlesbrough that sometimes that possession stat can be skewed because it's been possession in the half with the whole team behind the ball and happy just to defend and let the opposition have it in non-dangerous areas. They've been a threat, Manchester City. Keep highlighting those areas in between the centre halves and the full-backs. That's where they've exploited both sides really well.
Tomlin allowed to advance a long way, helped on by Bamford. Adoma. Zabaleta almost getting in a muddle, but clearing eventually ahead of Tomlin.
Well, you'd always get a chance to attack at some point. I'm not sure Adoma couldn't have just had a shot as this ball comes across to him. Seems to have plenty of time. The ball's worked out him. Tomlin again breaks forward, deceptively quick. Good play from Bamford. And a little check pass attempted by Adoma. Could maybe have driven that towards the far post.
Adoma, one of four brought in by Eita Karanka following the championship win over Cardiff in midweek. He's struggled for goals this season. His last came back in October. Jesus Navas. Silva. Navas again. Excellent block by Friend. He has been a Wembley winner in the past. Wembley winner with Exeter City in their non-league days. Karanka, who took over at Middlesbrough in November of 2013 in place of Tony Mowbray, having previously been number 2 to Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid. Distinguished playing career in Spain as well, with both Real and Athletic Bilbao. He looked after many of the Spanish junior teams, and his goalkeeper here, Mejias, was part of a Spanish under-20 squad he was once in charge of. Boyata. Zabaleta. away by Ayala. Silva. Mejias again fully stretched. The shot from David Silva took a deflection.
He knew which side it had to go though. The defender in the way, he knows it's only going to be drilled towards that right-hand post of his. Fine save. Probably would have actually struck the post, but he wasn't to know that. Seems to move well though, moves his feet quickly, the goalkeeper. Always gives him a chance to make a save.
Fernando having a word in company's ear. No direction on the header from Boyata, who was maybe overstretching. Jesus Navas. Terrific work by Friend. Silva. Jovetic. Adoma. Bamford. Whitehead. Beaten finalist with Stoke City 4 years ago when they lost to Manchester City. Adoma to give Middlesbrough a little bit of width. Bamford. Tomlin. Well worth a try.
It was, because the goalkeeper wouldn't necessarily have expected him to take the shot. Always happy to try the unexpected, Tomlin. He gets it away quite quickly. Tough skill dragging across the ball, hooking it wide of that right-hand post. He's certainly going to be an influence in the attacking areas, Tomlin. There's a bit of vision about him. There's a trick.
Tomlin, another of those who's progressed from League One into the Championship. He had a time with Peterborough United.
He had quite a discipline issue there. I saw him play a number of times for Peterborough. Used to get random sendings off and really seemed to get moody in games.
Jesus Navas. Zabaleta. Back again with Navas. It's a delightful ball in. Jovetic. Another excellent save by Mejias, who's helped out once more, this time by Friend. Ledbetter putting his head in where it hurts to get the better of the exchange with Zabaleta. Tomlin was trying to pick out Adoma but didn't find him. Clayton. Bamford. Adoma. Whitehead. Tomlin. Launched long by Gibson. Good pressure from Bosun.
Yeah, but it's been very tough for Bosun to get into the game. He's had very little service up to him. Most of the attacking intent has come from Manchester City, as you'd expect. Middlesbrough have hung in really well, defended the middle areas of their goal well. They're delighted to get through to half-time. The score's still goalless.
Bosun's goals this season coming in the third round at Barnsley, where Middlesbrough were 2-0 winners. Adoma. Bosun losing out to Company. Company has immediately given the ball away. Company and Bosun, both Belgian internationals.
A bit slack from centre-back, who plays right back in a bit of trouble. This is unbelievable cross. So quick to get the ball out of his feet. Navas down the right-hand side. Really took Silva by surprise. And a fine save from the goalkeeper. All the saves he's had to make have been at good height for him. Credit him for the fact that his reactions have been good, but he has been given a chance with them all.
Tomlin. His friend. Friend once more. Adoma didn't quite get that. Manchester City appealing for an offside. Ledbetter. It was Milner who was coming back into the game then, who played the away team into the advantage.
Yeah, it was almost off the pitch, wasn't it? It's enough for Middlesbrough that when that ball goes into the City box, that just one or two moments that they may get some joy. It might be slightly rare that they get up there, but when they do, there's enough about their forward players to suggest that they can be a threat to this City side.
Middlesbrough have shown what they can do already this season, particularly in the League Cup. Third round tie which finished 2-2, and then Middlesbrough going out 14-13 on penalties. Kolarov. Jovetic. Kolarov again. Oh, was it a handball there by Arla? Phil Dowd says no.
Well, it was the blind side from Phil Dowd. It's certainly a big appeal from Manchester City. I think it may well have struck his arm. It just depends how far away from his body it was. Certainly a huge reaction from the fans. And a very clear view at that end of the ground.
Tomlin. Tomlin short of alternatives, but one is now provided by Whitehead. Looking for Volson. It's Bamford who got in just ahead of his strike partner then.
Good pace from Bamford. See him make the first run. Just gets on the shoulder of Boyata. You can't see him. Boyata's body position has to be better. Just to gain the pace to get down the flick. I think he's a very lucky boy. I think if that hits his left arm, that's given by Phil Dowd. With the arm that far away from his body.
So important now that Middlesbrough keep their concentration. Approaching the final minute of the first half. They've defended doggedly. They've ridden their luck, particularly with that shout for a handball against Daniel Ayala. Can they hold out now until half-time? Company ready to make his move. Eased away by Clayton. An opportunity for Middlesbrough to sort themselves out again defensively. Silva. Aguero. And again towards Aguero. Ledbetter is doing his best to shield the ball away from Aguero. And again, Mahias takes charge.
It's one of those games where you go in as a Middlesbrough player thinking, oh, we've done all right there and we're level at the break and it's all good, and you get in and you look at your teammates and everyone's absolutely shattered, no one's talking to each other, everyone's got their hands and heads between the knees.
Now there is an unexpected respite for Middlesbrough. They will have glanced across to see that the fourth official has raised the board to show that we've just got one additional minute. Last opportunity for Eita Karanka to gather his thoughts. His team talk will essentially say more of the same, but it could be a very uncomfortable second 45 minutes for Middlesbrough, given the effort and the work rate which they've put in already. Solid challenge by Friend. Domer strides out. Tomlin, happy to take responsibility. Shot was rattled against Fernando.
Well, I think he'll be disappointed in it. He does brilliantly well. Half bit of play. Fernando comes across. I think he can maybe whip that around him if he's quick enough. I'm not sure he necessarily expects him to come and make that challenge. Good end to the half for Borough, though.
We won't have one additional minute at the end of the first half. We're going to get a bit more. Ledbetter assessing all the options. In towards Ayala. Manchester City looking to spring a counter, but they won't have opportunity to take the move on. Thomas Mejías, the busier of the two goalkeepers, no doubt about that. Three excellent saves from Silva and Milner and Jovetic, but Middlesbrough riding their luck as well. The team who are second in the championship currently, just before half-time. Daniel Ayala getting away with a penalty area handball. An enjoyable opening 45 minutes at the Etihad, where it is Manchester City 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Soccer coverage launches to new heights. Sportsnet World subscribers get matchups available nowhere else in Canada. Exclusive live coverage of the FA Cup, every match, all season. Plus home to the most prestigious international sport. Follow soccer's elite. Must-see fixtures from the famous Barclays Premier League, UEFA Champions League, and Euro 2016 qualifiers. Match day for the fanatics. Sportsnet World. Subscribe now. Where some see a story, Sportsnet.ca insiders see an opportunity. Uncovering truths that put a unique lens on the world of sports. Off-the-wall writing by award-winning scribes, distinguished journalists, critically acclaimed authors, shaped by opinion and expertise. Canada's deepest roster of sports writers, the insiders, on Sportsnet.ca. Sunday, the NHL's brightest stars light it up live from Columbus. There's a football off the bar. It is a 2015 Honda NHL All-Star Game, Sunday on CBC.
Ball in by Kolarov to get Manchester City up and running. Jovetic couldn't make the most of it.
It's been a real highlight for City, the quality of balls that have gone into that box. Source of frustration, I'm sure, for the manager. No one's actually been able to get on the end of them yet.
At one point in the first half, Manchester City had 70% of the possession. They created plenty of openings. Fit again, Aguero getting Jesus Navas on his way. And Thomas Mejías, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, making the first of a number of saves.
Yeah, he's been excellent. And they've overloaded these sorts of areas, City, to allow them this attacking width. Just not been able to pick anyone out in the middle. Borough always have had people back.
Adam Clayton, Middlesbrough's number 8, a former Manchester City junior, getting with a half-hearted Manchester City penalty shout, as Jovetic again showed a degree of trickery.
And they've done him with the first one. Every time you lunge, it's a little bit dangerous. Jovetic doesn't really appeal himself. It's enough of a touch on the ball for Clayton not to have caused too much trouble for his team.
Precious little from Middlesbrough with that little back heel from Tomlin. They were on their way again. And from the other end of the ground, Middlesbrough away support would have thought that the team had gone in front, but there was an offside initially against Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, good decision from the assistant referee. Bamford with his pace, just straying a yard beyond that Manchester City back four.
Manchester City with so much attacking flair. Aguero now going on. I thought that Manchester City should have had a corner. It was a goal kick, but Mejías again was able to get something on that.
So it's a threat when he's one-on-one, Aguero. Once again, though, the angle against him. Goalkeeper makes a comfortable save and gets the reward of not actually conceding the corner either.
19 goals already this season for Aguero. Jovetic the next to test the Middlesbrough goalkeeper.
just so good at finding the extra man in those dangerous areas. Plenty of time for Jovetic to get the ball out of his feet. Goalkeeper a little bit fortunate, but his defender gets him out of trouble with the rebound.
No doubt that Mejias had plenty of protection. Boyata with a couple of swipes at that.
Yeah, the first one he should definitely do better with. Watch the ball onto your foot, little side foot. Gets it horribly wrong. Doesn't do much better with the second, unfortunately.
Manchester City had to come from behind against Sheffield Wednesday of the Championship in round 3. 2 goals from James Milner, who again was keen to test Mejias. Fine save that by the Middlesbrough goalkeeper.
Yeah, really good reactions going down to his right-hand side. Aguero lays the ball perfectly into the path of Milner. Good technique to strike the ball low. Fine save.
And still, Manchester City came forward. Well, he got himself in a little bit of a muddle, and you can't afford to take chances like that against a team of the quality of Manchester City. Silva letting fly.
He loves to open the ball up onto his left foot. He's looking to curl this in the top corner. Another comfortable save for the goalkeeper. Always got a challenge in Middlesbrough. That's the one thing they have done in that final third.
Middlesbrough finishing the first half with a flourish. Tomlin with the attempt which never threatened Caballero.
He's had as much attack.
For Canadians, hockey is so much more than a game. Game nights become tradition. A meeting place. A time to be cherished. Shop tsc.ca/NHL and show your team spirit in style with fan gear, collectibles, home decor, and more. And turn your next hockey night into family night.
The bidders are back and looking to score.
I still got it.
So if you like trash talk,
You should just leave now.
and well, just plain old trash, then we've got a deal for you. Store Tours Canada, Thursday at 9 on OLN. Want more? Ta-da! We knew you would. So OLN's got a ton of great new shows this winter. Also watch full episodes and exclusive videos on OLN.ca.
Absolutely monstrous jam! Kyle Lowry banks it in! DeMar DeRozan demolishes the rim! That just happened!
The Raptors live on Sportsnet.
I'm Mitch Martin of the London Knights. And that's the can of the win.
The bidders are back and looking to score.
I still got it.
So if you like trash talk,
You should just leave now.
and well, just plain old trash, then we've got a deal for you. Store Tours Canada, Thursday at 9 on OLN. Want more? Ta-da! We knew you would. So OLN's got a ton of great new shows this winter. Also watch full episodes and exclusive videos on OLN.ca.
I'm Austin Krebs of the Kingston Frontenacs. Nice skill shot to win.
The following may contain scenes of violence, nudity, coarse language,
You don't use the S word.
You called me a J!
No, you're lucky I call you an AA. Guys, stop before you spell something you're going to regret.
and mature subject matter.
Still lights off t-shirt on, but I will say the other night, my t-shirt rolled up, I didn't pull it back down.
This may be funny for all viewers. Viewer attention is required. Mike and Molly, 8:30 Monday on City.
The tightest defence in the Championship currently. Middlesbrough, they've conceded just 18 goals in all their league games, and they proved to be resolute in defence in the opening 45 minutes of the Etihad. It is Middlesbrough who get the second half underway. They've never won the FA Cup. They were finalists back in 1997. They did enjoy success in the League Cup, however, and they reached the UEFA Cup final as well with Steve McLaren in charge. Indeed, they qualified for the UEFA Cup back in 2005 with a 1-1 draw at the City of Manchester Stadium as it was then. Mark Schwarzer saving Robbie Fowler's stoppage time penalty. It meant that Borough finished above Manchester City. Stuart Pearce then in charge of Manchester City. Ledbetter with a free kick, which will be straightforward enough for Caballero, given his chance again in goal ahead of Joe Hart. Initially a watching brief for the Argentine, who played under Manuel Pellegrini at Malaga in Spain. He made his debut for Manchester City in the Community Shield at Wembley at the start of the season. No blame attached to Vosen there. He turned his back on the play. Milner given a nudge. Given the chance to recharge their batteries during the interval, given that they were up against it for much of the opening 45 minutes. And there'll be a Middlesbrough threat. How do you feel the visitors will approach this second 45 minutes, giving the amount of defending that they had to do before the interval?
Well, I think they will do the same again. They've been delighted with each other in there. Yes, they know they've been up against it, but that's no great surprise. A bit of a step up in class for them today. Come up against quality of players of the likes of Sylvie. You know they're going to have some possession against you. In general, they defended their goal very well. That's the all-important part. Certainly sacrificed some width, Middlesbrough, to keep numbers in the centre of their goal. To all intents and purposes, they got the job done.
13 opportunities for Manchester City in the first half, 5 on target.
These are the sorts of areas where it's got to be a bit cuter. It's not going to be easy to get times when the pressure is off you, and you know, silly free kicks like Bamford did there and company. Just got to be as sharp as you possibly can be. They all get a chance or two. Middlesbrough, it's just a question of when they get really tired and the legs start to tire and the gaps start to open up. Can they cope with that movement City have in those forward areas?
Right to that group, Steve Gibson, the Middlesbrough chairman, who invested heavily in his hometown club when they were in dire financial straits. Came close to folding back in 1986.
I'm sure he's enjoying watching his nephew at the heart of the defence as well.
Nephew Ben. Isai Alder has been brought across here.
Really too much in the challenge. He hardly kicked through, that's why he's frustrated, Ayala. Might as well have got booked for going right through the back of Aguero there. It's a bit of a half one. He was almost trying to pull out. It's more the momentum that gets him booked.
Here's the goalkeeper looking for some protection. Kolarov itching to get his left foot through this free kick. Milner, Kolarov. Took a deflection on the way through. Has gone behind for a Manchester City corner.
Difficult. They're just trying to change the angle, City, but moving the ball means the charge is going to get out to you.
Kolarov now with the corner kick. Turned aside again by Mahias. Right place, right time yet again.
Yeah, good save. He has moved his feet. I like his agility. Okay, again, it's another savable height. He has to be mobile enough to make the save. Does well going across to his left-hand side that time.
Stopping Jovicic's shot in the first half. Konstantinopoulos is the goalkeeper who's regularly been in action for Middlesbrough in the Championship this season, the 36-year-old. Started the season on the bench. There's some grappling with Kompany and getting the decision this time. It's going to be a yellow card as well for Vincent Kompany, much to Middlesbrough's irritation now because they wanted to take the free kick quickly.
But it's the wrong side, that's his problem. Trying to get back to Vosen, who's getting away from him, almost has to commit the foul. He knows he's in trouble. Actually misreads the flight of the ball, that's what gets him the issue in the first place. Good decision from the referee. I think the correct one. It probably a more justified booking than the Ayala challenge just a couple of moments ago.
Well, one of those who's made his way forward now for Middlesbrough. Ledbetter with a free kick. Tomlin's attempt is charged down by Zabaleta. He's fought again by Whitehead. Vosina. Silva. Aguero takes charge. Bamford. Now Adama. Adama continues his run on, and he's got there just ahead of the goalkeeper. And Middlesbrough going front. Patrick Bamford. Persistence personified. And the team second in the Championship have taken the lead at the Etihad. That was all about determination and the desire to get there first and to make the first breakthrough. Middlesbrough in front, and they really are in dreamland.
Well, they've shown plenty of guts to deserve the chance to go ahead in the game. Once again, a bit of a mix-up from City, who haven't settled in the second half at all. It's a poor mistake with the back pass. Creates all sorts of havoc. Bamford's quick, he reacts really well. Fernando just puts his goalkeeper Caballero under real pressure. I think he's got to smash him, Caballero, there. I think he's got to be stronger. Look at the delight for the Borough fans, though.
Who wanted it more? Adama initially, and then Bamford. What a moment for Patrick Bamford, and what a moment for Middlesbrough. The 21-year-old on loan from Chelsea, who endured disappointment at Wembley in a playoff final with Derby at the end of last season, has now given Middlesbrough the lead at the Etihad. Manchester City with all the possession, all the first half chances, but it's Middlesbrough who go in front.
And now they have to be disciplined. They'll come up against a bit of an onslaught. Got to keep the shape.
David Silva. Milner.
Play from Gibson again at centre-half, gets out quickly to block the shot from Milner.
Boyata almost getting himself in a muddle. Manchester City with one or two issues in the centre of that defence because of injuries and maybe lack of form. Mangala hasn't really settled, having arrived from Porto. It's meant that the Argentine Martin Demichelis is normally alongside Vincent Kompany. Today it's Boyata in there, but here comes City with Jovetic. Well, it's the response you would have expected from Manchester City, but we really have got a game on our hands now.
Yeah, City won't do anything different. Yes, it will have shocked them a little bit, but there's enough quality about them, just to know that they will fashion chances and still back themselves comfortably in this game. Let's set them back a bit though.
On by Boyata. Clayton wrestling with Aguero. Manchester City look again at Phil Dowd, and yet again the referee says nothing doing.
And there may not have been, but again it's a decision from Clayton that asks the referee to make a decision. He's certainly not in a position to make the challenge. Has a little gripper, and it's just one where you don't need to get involved at all. See him tugging a little bit at the jersey, a little bit at the arm. Yes, it would have been a soft one, but you couldn't actually blame a referee if he gives that.
Well, Middlesbrough's game plan won't change. Manuel Pellegrini, of course, has got alternatives available to him on the bench. Edin Dzeko not in from the start here. Frank Lampard, another one who's in reserve. Oh, that's poor by Caballero. Tomlin, it's Tomlin! Goalkeeper's recovered, and still come Middlesbrough. Ledbetter driving that ball towards goal. Here comes City with Milner.
Great cup tie, absolutely fantastic entertainment.
Jesus Navas. Aguero's darted into the penalty area. Jovetic unmarked. Zabaleta. Fernando trying to give City a degree of calm, as is Milner. Kept in play by Jesus Navas. I'm sure that Mahias would have got to that, but it was Gibson who got in first.
Yeah, they've defended those balls into that danger area so well. I've made the point a number of times. But it's a situation that has kept repeating itself. But what a chance the other end. Tomlin looks like he gets a great chance to Middlesbrough 2 up.
Helped on by Fernando. Aguero again, watched by Clayton, former Manchester City junior. Aguero. Easy enough for Mahias this time.
Aguero's thing really, shooting from outside the box, very much a poacher. Once again, mayhem in that City back four. Caballero all over the place. Tomlin gets a bit lucky, but can he square this? Oh, he can as well. It'd be a tap-in for Boston if he gets his head up. Great defending though, in the end. City, body's on the line. This is the sign of a really good player though. Just square that, your side goes 2-0 up. Oh, we look at the reaction from Boston.
Ledbetter was following up, and I'm sure that Caballero even got a hand on that. There's a player of sky blue, body's just ahead of the goalkeeper. Navas. Silva trying to shake off Clay. Navas again to provide the width. Eased away by Ayala, picked up now by Jovetic. Kolarov. Navas. David Silva. Bodies in the way, bodies on the line. Now there's time for everybody to take a sharp intake of breath, certainly in the Middlesbrough rearguard.
Ayala does well here. Aguero comes across in fantastic movement. He just about has enough presence. I actually think Aguero should do better. If he concentrates fully on the ball, I think he can head that down better than he does.
Before they consider changes. Haven't done too much wrong, have they? Defensively, maybe one or two lapses, but certainly going forward, they've had plenty of possession, they've created chances.
Yeah, not a massive aerial threat from balls going into the box, that's the only thing.
Bamford, the goal scorer. A youngster on loan from Chelsea. Here's Tomlin. Adoma. Middlesbrough springing another quick counter. Touched away by Caballero.
Haven't looked comfortable as a back four, have they, City? had to scramble at times, haven't really been under that much pressure. Amazing the contrast between the front four and the back four.
Silva is looking for Aguero. Manchester City have had one or two problems at the Etihad this season. They have lost in the Premier League here to Arsenal last weekend and also to Stoke. They lost to CSKA Moscow in the Champions League, and they were beaten by Newcastle in the League Cup. Came from behind against Sheffield Wednesday in the third round. James Milner getting 2 on his 29th birthday. Here is Milner. Clayton now needs help, and none was forthcoming. You can see there that Vossen was pointing the way towards Middlesbrough's number 10, Lee Tomlin. Aguero. Ledbetter. Tomlin. Adoma on his way. And he's been picked out by Tomlin. Adoma!
Oh, he's got...
Not quite enough on it.
Oh, what a chance as well, because Caballero looks like he gives him such an opportunity. It's great vision from Tomlin. What's the first touch like? Going to be enough? Oh, that's sat perfectly to lob it over the goalkeeper as well, who looks to be really isolated with his starting position.
Another big chance for Middlesbrough. Are they to rue those missed opportunities? But let's not forget that they have the lead. Patrick Bamford putting them in front after 53 minutes.
City can't exert the same amount of pressure that they had done in the first half. Certainly Borough getting a chance to counter-attack. They haven't been afraid to commit bodies forward as they've run away from the goal as well. As Tomlin's got it, Vossen will certainly set off. Bamford has the pace to go and join them in attack. These sorts of areas which they didn't have in the first half at all.
Tomlin.
No real snap about City to go and win the ball back either. That surprises me.
Hoisted forward by Arla. Former Liverpool youngster, another of those who had to go backwards perhaps to go forward during his career in England. Adoma. Tomlin. Beautifully done by Tomlin. Off the post and out.
Oh my goodness.
It deserved the goal, but he didn't get the goal. Brilliant play by Lee Tomlin, and Manchester City opened up again.
Once again with slack play in the middle of the park, he takes a fantastic touch. I can't believe he doesn't score. I think he goes the other side of the goalkeeper. That's the way he has to go. Looks like we'll get a fantastic view here. He has to go to the goalkeeper's right. Takes the narrow angle. Hits the post. That's a fantastic turn, but look at the space to this goalkeeper's right hand side. He certainly has the awareness to pick that almost a side foot pass into that corner of the goal.
Another fantastic chance for Middlesbrough. What a cup tie we've got at the Etihad. Oh, he's rubbing his eyes in disbelief.
I just think he's trying to be too clever there. Talk about all the mercurial skill he's got. Talks about as well the pass that he could have made previously. Oh, he knows how close he's come, inside of the post as well. Oh, when you need a goal.
Call for Frank Lampard. City poised to make a change. Tomlin again has made his move through the middle. Adoma. Just wonder if that will affect Lee Tomlin, because he's had his hands on his head now for the last minute or so, reflecting on that opportunity, that missed chance for Middlesbrough.
The thing for me is that he's had loads of time to see the goalkeeper coming. He knows exactly where that is. He's a player with great vision anyway. That's why I just think he might be a little bit disappointed. His choice of finish. One thing I think as well is that it might come from that trip that we've talked about City having in the Middle East. They look like they've run out of legs a little bit. Middlesbrough have coped far better with the physical exertion so far. Certainly defensively they've been excellent in covering ground. City just seem to have lost a little bit of intensity out of their play.
Manchester City returning to the northwest yesterday evening. Manuel Pellegrini said that they did have the advantage, there would be no jet lag. Navas unable to get away from Friend. City head coach making the point that they were gaining time on the return. First to make his appearance is Frank Lampard. Susan Navas makes way. Double change here by Manchester City with Frank Lampard coming on initially. And Stefan Jovetic making way. Fernandinho comes on. Four times an FA Cup winner, Frank Lampard, in his time with Chelsea, and how ironic that a Chelsea youngster, Patrick Bamford, has now got the goal which gives Middlesbrough the chance of a cup upset at the Etihad. David Silva. Kolarov. Silva again. Bamford. Back again with Kolarov. Cup winner in Italy with Lazio. Fernandinho. David Silva. Now Kolarov. Clayton intervenes and then gives the ball away to David Silva. Distinguished by that bushy beard, which he dyed blue and white on the final day of last season for his last game with Huddersfield as part of his attempt to raise money for the Huddersfield Academy's charity fund. Middlesbrough midfielder who's also Manchester City through and through. What it will mean to him to come here and to win at the Etihad, should they be able to hold on to this lead. Plenty of work still to be done by the team from the Championship. Milner. David Silva. Kolarov. Lampard. Milner. And he nearly had his shirt grabbed then by Dean Whitehead.
Yeah, he did. He let go of it just in time, Whitehead. He's frustrated, kicks the post, Milner. He's changed position now, he's going to play down the right-hand side. Position that Navas has been in. Just that little grab there. Shirts, they move easily, very lightweight material, and the referee only has to see that. It gives away the fact that you've made the grab.
One back by Tomlin. Ledbetter.
Yeah, good play. Good play. These are the little moments of experience. Ledbetter just picks up a set piece, just a foul, a very simple foul. It allows his team to regroup, gets his centre halves, protects that scoreline, gets his centre halves up to the halfway line, gets the team settled in the City half. He worries me, Caballero. He comes off his line. If I was a centre half with him playing behind, I think he puts enough doubt in people's mind to be an issue.
Seventh appearance for Manchester City, just the one shutout so far in the League Cup against Sheffield Wednesday. Goalkeeper has come in as Joe Hart's deputy.
Booking, I'd have thought, for Fernandinho. For the late challenge coming across. One or two frustrations in the crowd as well. The better again it is. He won't mind taking the tackle. Fernandinho too late into the challenge, going off his feet. Well, if you're going to have a template for winning away from home 1-0, you might as well learn off Jose Mourinho, and that man certainly has.
Karanka, previously Jose Mourinho's number 2 at Real Madrid. His first full season in charge of Middlesbrough. Fieldar reaching for his yellow card again. Caution for Dean Whitehead, who dallied over taking the free kick. You're right, Matt. Manchester City do look to have run out of steam.
And they moved the ball pretty well in the first half. Boys seem to have a man over in those final third areas. Haven't really been up there in this second half. Certainly Middlesbrough have matched them in terms of that. Just hustled brilliantly, Middlesbrough. And they will get tired at the end. Clayton and Ledbetter have been a great shield for the back four. The two centre-halves have been excellent.
Milner losing out to Ayala. Not done again by Milner. Lampard. Bamford on his way. Fernandinho, no, he had to pull out of the challenge then, having just picked up that yellow card. David Silva, Aguero. Good covering by Friend.
Yeah, once again, fullbacks coming in to look after centre-halves. He's an athletic boy, Friend. Been really impressed with him. Probably just not quite enough pace on the pass from Silva. So Aguero almost has to drag it from behind himself. He wants this to run onto. Can't quite do it to get the contact. Came, though, interestingly enough, from a decision further up the field for Bamford to try and run the ball, and that's what Middlesbrough can't do, because that'll open up those counter-attack opportunities.
Zabaleta. David Silva. Lampard. And again towards Milner. Zabaleta. Nonsense clearance in the end by Gibson.
And the ball's going through to Silva. And I know who I'd back 6 yards out.
Friend. Adoma, still full of running, as is Tomlin. Joined in the middle by Vosen. It's Vosen!
Save. Great strike.
Fine save by Caballero.
Good technique from Vosen as well. Needs it just a yard either side of the goalkeeper. Game so stretched now. Middlesbrough have to be careful.
Milner taking on Friend.
Well, I've not been too sure about it, but once again, look at the numbers they get forward. Fantastic ball from Adoma, and he's either to slice this or pull it. Unfortunately, he catches it with perfect technique, and that allows the goalkeeper to make a good save. Ball's really travelling. Good technique from Vosen.
A catalogue of opportunities for Manchester City in the first half, and in the second half, it's been the story now of Middlesbrough misses. You think back, the attempt there by Vosen, Tomlin with the turn and the shot against the post off the outside of his foot, and then Adoma went put through by Tomlin with a little chip which was easily saved by Caballero. Approaching the final 15 minutes, it could be a fascinating last quarter of an hour as well.
And most fascinating will be Which type of equaliser will Frank Lampard score, I think?
Generally comes up with a goal. Zabaleta. Milner. Zabaleta. Fernando. Zabaleta again. Milner short of alternatives.
Yeah, look at that defensive discipline from Middlesbrough. Great shape about them.
Zabaleta. Back again with Zabaleta. Fernandinho. Gone again by Zabaleta. In by Milner. Aguero. There's been a glimmer of a gap there for Sergio Aguero.
It's been such a good team performance. So we talk about how good the centre-halves have been. They've been brilliantly well shielded from Ledbetter and Clayton ahead of them, who in terms have had great support from the outside with a dome up, getting back round them as well. Bamford on the other side, and then as an outlet, Tomlin's managed to pick things up and be a threat with Vosen. Just a fantastic performance that Middlesbrough have put in.
It's been a great season for those who've been on the road with Middlesbrough. One defeat in their last 15 games in all competitions. Finished last season in fine form. They won 6 of their last 8 games, but it wasn't enough to get them into the playoffs. They'll be hoping to secure automatic promotion from the Championship at the end of the current campaign. Silva. Kolarov. Manchester City want to get Edin Dzeko. Fernandinho.
Silva's not been able to find any space either in this second half. So good at dictating play. Now they'll have an aerial threat as well.
Third and final change sees Fernando make way. Dzeko comes on. His first Manchester City goal came in the FA Cup 4 years ago now. Middlesbrough poised to make their first change. Rich has been given a few instructions before they make that alteration. Each one of those left out by Eta Karanka. Manchester City on their travels this week, but Middlesbrough had a competitive fixture on Tuesday to play at home to Cardiff in the Championship, which is often made of the demands and the workload of those in the Premier League in England, given that so many clubs are involved in European competition as well. But this is Middlesbrough's 32nd fixture of the campaign. Manchester City's 33rd. Company. Lampard. Clayton backing off. Aguero. David Silva. Dzeko.
sloppiness that's been indicative of their second half play from City. Dzeko just not on the same wavelength as Milner on that right hand side. Good play at this point coming on. Adam Reach got good pace. I'm sure that'll be the reason as things get frantic late on. Tomlin, well, he's had a fantastic chance to win the game. He's certainly been an influence at the top of that formation for Middlesbrough.
Warmly applauded. Searching pass which picked out Albert Adoma, which presented Middlesbrough with a good second half chance, and then a wonderful turn of Lee Tomlin on the edge of the penalty area, which so nearly led to their second goal. Reach on, doesn't turn 22 until the start of next month. He's a graduate of the Middlesbrough Academy, an academy which over the years has enjoyed plenty of success, produced many good young players. At least Adam Johnson, of course, who was at Middlesbrough before he had a time at Manchester City. Dzeko holding off Clayton, and now finding Milner. Zabaleta out by Ayala, only as far as Kolarov. Here's Aguero. He's created the room for himself, and the Middlesbrough backline stands firm again.
They always get the body being thrown out. Good first header from Ayala. This is untidy. Whitehead making the challenge. Nothing really in it. Look at Ayala again. Throwing himself, reading the play and throwing himself. Nothing really in the challenge. It was untidy. Look at Ayala getting across, reading the play, seeing how it's going to develop.
Bamford. Clayton. Company put under pressure by Reach. Kolarov. Lampard. Kolarov. Adoma. Fildard let that go. There's a foul on Zabaleta. One of the survivors of the last Premier League game between the two at Eastlands. David Silva. Fernandinho. Lampard. Milner. Helped away by Company. Reach. Vossen.
Good play from Borough. Good composure. City actually can't get that close to them. Kind of scrappy in the end, but precious seconds wasted. I mean, we know how Milner gets himself around a football field, but that scoreline very much deserving from Middlesbrough for the way they've performed.
There's a picture of calm on the touchline in the Middlesbrough technical area. It wasn't the same earlier this season. He picked up a touchline ban after he pushed a fourth official. Mostly happy that Blackburn were given the chance to equalise in a fixture at the Riverside. Lampard. Friend got that ahead of Aguero. Approaching the final 5 minutes. Fernandinho. Zabaleta. The dome of the outlet again for Middlesbrough. Careless pass. Played in behind the substitute Adam Reach. Just the one change for Middlesbrough. Milner dallied, and here's Bamford. Boyata there ahead of Vosen.
Struggled Boyata really all afternoon. You look at the Middlesbrough side, you know that if you're going to be competitive coming to a venue like this, you need all of your players to play well, and boy, they have. Haven't had anyone who hasn't been at his very best today. Everyone's put a shift in.
Vosen now makes way. That one terrific volley which was well dealt with by Caballero, and it's Kike who will come on. Spaniard who was impressive in the second division in Spain last season with Murcia. Another one who worked with Carranca in the Spanish under-20 squad.
City just can't get close to go and win this ball. So many options for Middlesbrough.
Reach. Adama. Manchester City do look as though they're flagging, and they have done for the last 15 or 20 minutes or so, despite the substitutions made by Manuel Pellegrini. Friend. Adama. Helped on by Lampard, then David Silva. Helped away by Clayton. Kike.
Today's attendance is 44,836.
I heard the stadium announcer say that the attendance at the Etihad is just shy of 45,000. Manchester City getting full backing yet again. Another team, or those supporters team, on their way out of the FA Cup at the fourth round stage. Can they snatch a dramatic late equaliser? Milner, whose goals proved to be the difference in the last round. Kolarov. Company.
Be an undeserved equaliser for the way that they've played in this second half. They haven't had any sort of fluency about them. No options. You hear this frustration from the crowd. Silva, as ever, will always want the ball.
Aguero. Zabaleta. Aguero again. Adam Reach. Adama striding out, doing his best to get beyond Fernandinho. Dzeko approaching the final minute. Lampard off the post and out, and helped away by Dean Whitehead. Well, Middlesbrough have ridden their luck at times, and now it's Manchester City who look heavenwards and wonder how on earth did that stay out. It was a deflection off Adam Clayton.
But he's trying to do the right thing again. It would have been really heartbreaking for him had that gone in.
Can Middlesbrough hold out? Last minute of the 90. David Silva, no foul. And here come Middlesbrough again, a chance maybe to wrap it all up. Adama is free. Friend. Kike in the middle.
How's the left back at right wing?
Reach. Back again with Reach.
Keep the ball. Got to keep the ball.
Friend. Milner.
Now there's gaps. Friend shouldn't be up there. That's not a bad foul to concede.
A bump of heads between Dzeko and Ayala.
Ayala's been booked, hasn't he? a good one to concede, but he knows what he's doing, breaking the play up.
4 additional minutes at the end of the 90, and there will be a little bit more. Aidal is seeing stars at the moment. It was the swinging left arm of Dzeko which did the damage. Deep inside, you know full well that they are fretting. What will stoppage time hold? Zabaleta. In by Silva, down by Dzeko. Aguero got there just ahead of David Silva. They were both desperate to take that shot on. Manchester City get the corner kick.
So many blocks that they've made, Middlesbrough. Read the play brilliantly, defended like lions at times, just been superb right throughout.
Ayala now back on the pitch. Friend up with company. It'll be another corner kick to Manchester City. It's not for the want of trying. 22 attempts on goal for Manchester City. Zabaleta now penalised. Can be sure that Middlesbrough will be in no rush to take this free kick. Clock ticks down.
Should have gone wide, shouldn't have gone through to the goalkeeper. Poor from the set piece.
Ledbetter. Adoma. Bamford. Chance to finish, and they've done it. Kike, the Spaniard, on as a late substitute, has broken Manchester City in second half stoppage time. Middlesbrough, worth their 1-goal lead, now have a 2-goal advantage, and there's no way back for last season's Premier League winners. Goals are plenty for him in Spain's second division last season, and now he has lit up the FA Cup just like Patrick Bamford before him. 2-0 to Middlesbrough.
Well, credit to the staff on the sideline. But if you need your team to reflect your preparation, City have been poor in this second half, but Middlesbrough have been absolutely excellent. Bamford full and running, ends up with cramp for his troubles. It's a fine finish. City just can't get around the place of being shambolic in the middle of their defence. That would have probably been a sending off. What a send-off that is for the Middlesbrough fans who have travelled here to Manchester.
Kike's goal, Middlesbrough's day. The Bamford score of the first goal now makes way. Middlesbrough happy to eat up a few final seconds. Four additional minutes we were to have. 4 minutes that Manchester City hope would produce an equaliser. Instead, it's seen Middlesbrough increase their advantage. One of the stories of the FA Cup this weekend. Milner. Helped away by Ayala.
He's been outstanding, Ayala. Absolute magnet for the ball when it's gone in the box. Great when you've got this outlet of pace wide as well. They can actually enjoy themselves, Middlesbrough, enjoy these closing stages. Stadium's emptying around us.
priority remains promotion back into the Premier League for Middlesbrough. And Aitor Karanka, who here has enjoyed a magnificent success in the fourth round of the FA Cup against Manchester City. Had Manchester City got their preparations wrong away in the Middle East for 5 days, they didn't return to the Northwest until last night. They had plenty of first half opportunities, chances that were squandered, but Middlesbrough defensively so resolute were rewarded with a goal early in the second half through Patrick Bamford on loan from Chelsea. And then in second half stoppage time, after Middlesbrough wasted several other good chances, got their second goal scored by the Spaniard Quique, who Karanka was in charge of in the Spanish under-20 squad at a World Under-20 finals once upon a time. Middlesbrough celebrate, and the celebrations led by Adam Clayton, the former Manchester City junior, who has come back now to help Middlesbrough haunt his former club. It's been a fantastic day for a team who've won the League Cup in England, but who have hit hard times just recently in the Championship. But they've made their mark in the FA Cup at the Etihad today, where it's finished Manchester City 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Music's biggest night is on City. It all kicks off with Entertainment City, live on the red carpet.
Canada, what up?
Followed by the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, with special performances by Madonna, Ed Sheeran, AC/DC, and Ariana Grande. The 57th Annual Grammy Awards, 8 Sunday, February 8th, on City.
I'm Max Domi of the London Knights. And I take slap shots to win.
Absolutely monstrous jam! Kyle Lowry banks it in! DeMar DeRozan demolishes the rim! That just happened!
The Raptors live on Sportsnet.
Jovetic for the first of several good opportunities that they had.
Yeah, fine strike. Good save from a goalkeeper who was banging form all afternoon.
Jovetic leaving the ball for Sergio Aguero, and Fern found James Milner. That was perhaps the pick of Mejias' saves.
It was, that's the one he had to get down low to. The other's all savable height. It's a fine, strong right hand.
Middlesbrough were impressive in defence throughout, but a slip there by Ayala which presented